Hey guys, welcome to a new Technic Minecraft, and yeah, it's been a while. It's our first video of 2013. Nothing's really caught my attention, and I've been kind of busy. We're planning on moving back to Texas. We have family issues, and so we're going to be moving back to Texas, so it's been kind of a hectic time for me, so I haven't really been able to record, and I apologize to all my subscribers. But we're back. I'm going to be trying to get videos out more often, but until we get back to Texas, it's probably going to be very sporadic. But something has really started to bug me, and I wanted to give it a little talk while we search for items and things like that that we might need for our Technic stuff. None of our rubber trees are growing. But, okay, so this is something. Hold on, let me turn this down. It sounds really loud in my ears. Turn this down just a little bit. Maybe it's my headset doing that loudness. I don't know. But okay, so let's talk about gun control and everything that's been happening lately. It's been really horrendous. Like the end of 2012 was very, like, just heart-wrenching. All the stuff that happened, and I don't know what to say about it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that are talking about how there needs to be better gun control and outlaw this or that and blah blah blah, and now all the media is getting in on it, like Jon Stewart and Piers Morgan, and I mean, these guys don't speak for everyone, but they assume to speak for everyone, if that makes any sort of sense. To I don't know. They act like their views reflect the majority of the people in this country, and they just don't. And I kind of want to make that like clear, is that they don't speak for me, and I think personally that outlawing guns would be a horrible decision. It would be just I mean, just completely irresponsible of us to do something like that. Because I mean, when you stop and think about it, it's like personally I think that, what the hell? That's not a torch. That everything that has a beginning has an end. I mean, that's just it's an old saying, and it holds true. Like, no matter what you're talking about, it holds true. And that goes for the United States of America as well. I mean, I love my country. I'm very patriotic, and I'm not one of those people that jump on the bandwagon that want to hate our country. I mean, maybe when I was younger, I was that guy, and I think a lot of young people are disillusioned with the way things are, and so they blame it on their country, or they hear things and they blame it on the government and stuff. And now, by all means, don't take what I'm saying as meaning that I am pro-government, because I'm not. I don't think the government's doing a very good job, and if it was possible, I think that it would be better to start over again, to get rid of the government we have and to create something new. But I don't think that that's really possible at this moment in time, and they're also consolidating their power. I mean, they're talking about taking away guns and doing all this stuff, and it's like, okay, but I don't understand that's going to help. What's that going to change by taking away our ability to protect ourselves? And everyone's talking about, well, I think, like the Piers Morgan guy, I didn't even really pay attention to him a whole lot, like before, because I mean, what is I don't listen to news people and like take their word as, like, I don't even know how to put it. I don't take their word as fact. I'm a very suspicious person when it comes to that, and everyone has their own agendas. But I gotta say that I think that he is just an idiot. He said, like, the Marine he talked to said something like, I think a 6-year-old girl has the right to go to school without being shot is more important than our Second Amendment right. Now, I agree that everyone should, especially children, should be able to feel like they're safe when they're going to school. I have 3 children. Anyone who watches my channel knows that. I am not sitting here saying that I think that my right to own guns is more important than anything that has to do with children. But at the same time, I think that a lot of people that are talking about, putting guns in the hands of the teachers, training them, having somebody inside the school besides, the police officers that watch over, having someone that could do something if something happened is actually a really good idea. Now, lots of people are going to say, oh, well, anyone can snap. But if you're going to use that argument, then we're going to have to take guns away from our police officers. We're going to have to take guns away from the government, from our military, and then, where does that leave us? It leaves us in a hole that we can't get out of, ever. Because if anyone can snap, then anyone can snap. You can't say that and then be like, oh, well, I didn't mean the police. The police or anyone, they can snap. So, I mean, you got to kind of have trust in people. I mean, that's what we're lacking here, really, is trust in our school systems and everything else. But I think if a teacher is well trained, has certification, and I mean, just like a cop, to certify them, train them, show them what to do, all that stuff, and then put a gun in their hands, and if someone comes up into their classroom wanting to start some shit and kill little kids, then that teacher is at least well prepared to take care of the situation, to defuse it before a bunch of 23 kids get murdered by some whack job. I mean, there has to be a better way than just taking away guns, because you have to understand, bad men are not going to follow the law. Criminals are not going to be like, oh, guns are outlawed, oh, we're not going to buy guns anymore. We're going to have to fight with our fists and be, honorable men. No, because there's been gun runners since there's been guns. Okay? And that's like everyone, I don't know. That's one of those things that everyone's constantly is their main, talking point is, if you outlaw guns, the only people that'll have guns are outlaws. But it's true. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's true. And for people to just sit around talking about, taking away my right to defend myself and my family, that bothers me. That bothers me immensely. Because if Obama wants to take away my right to defend myself, then shouldn't he give up his armed escorts? And now I know what you're saying. Now you're saying, well, you think that yours is as important as the president. Yes, I fucking do. I am more important than the president. And so are all of you listening to this video. Our government was made by the people, for the people. The president is just our representative. So if you come right down to it, we are all more important than the president of the United States. That's just how that is. That's not me trying to be like, oh, well, I'm an egomaniac and I'm more important than this and that and the other. That's just the way it is. Like the same way you would say, okay, well, the guy guarding the president is less important than the president. No, he's not. But I mean, he's willing to take a bullet for the guy. That's just the way it is. I'm getting sidetracked, but seriously, when you stop and think about what our government is supposed to represent, then yes, we are more important than the president of the United States. And the fact that he gets to have armed guards around him for the rest of his life, protecting him and his children and his wife, and he wants to take away our right to be able to defend ourselves in the same type of situations, that seems kind of weird and bullshitty to me. If that's even a word. I just made up a new word. Bullshitty. Yes, you're all free to use it. Hashtag bullshitty. And I understand everyone's in a process right now where they're trying to, they're trying to make sense of an unsensible thing. They're trying to make sense of how someone could kill 23 little kids. But I got news for you. You're never, ever going to make sense of that situation. And if you can, then there's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be able to understand why someone wants to kill 23 kids. That should be something that you're like, that for the rest of your life you can't understand. There is no answer to why he did what he did. There never will be. Just like James Holmes and Aurora. There's no reason for what he did. There's no one answer that you're going to be like, oh, okay, now I get it. And if there is, then you need to seek professional help immediately. But my point in the whole situation is you can't take away our guns. I mean, you may do it, you may pass the law, and it may come to a point to where it's like, okay, well, we can't have guns anymore. But you're not going to take away the guns. The guns are going to always be there. Period. End of discussion. I will always own guns, and if that makes me a criminal, then that's going to make me a criminal. Because I'm not going to give up my right to defend myself, not just from home invasion or criminals, but from the government itself trying to come into my home and take what I have. Because everything falls. Like I was saying earlier, everything with a beginning has an end. And that includes the United States of America. It had a beginning, it was around, and eventually something will come and take it away. That's just the way that is. There's no way around that. The United States of America will not always be the United States of America. Something will change at some point in history. Hopefully, to be honest, my fondest wish and hope on that matter is that it happens long after I'm gone. Long after my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids are gone. And that the United States holds for thousands of years, just like Great Britain. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, I won't own guns because I believe that the country's gonna hold for that long. Because with how everything is in the world, as fucked up as all world politics are, there is nothing that is saying to me right now that the United States is going to be the United States forever. I mean, it seems ridiculous to even say things like that. What is this? That's a generator with power. Alright. All I'm saying is, you may not believe like I do, but there has to be a better way than just taking away our guns. And the fact that the reason that all of this is happening is because the guns that the guy used at the Sandy Hook Elementary School were legally obtained, but not by him. And that's what people keep overlooking in their news stories when they're telling, their media stories and trying to drum up support, is that they're legally owned guns, but they weren't legally owned by him. They were his mother's guns. A person which he killed before he went to go and do his massacre on those children. So, in reality, those guns were illegally obtained. And that's the thing they don't want you thinking about. Is because if you start thinking about that, then their whole argument falls apart. Bad men will do what bad men do. Forever. That's just the way it is. And good men, they're trying to castrate the good men to where the good men can't do anything about it. And that just, to me, doesn't seem right, and it's a law that I will never follow. And that's just how it is, and I'm not alone. There are a lot of people out there that feel the exact same way. And yes, I do believe that there could be more, maybe, some sort of, I have no idea. I have no idea how to fix the problem. All I'm saying is that outlawing guns completely is an irresponsible step to take. Now, as far as certifications and all that stuff goes to get a gun, I don't know how to fix that. I'd be willing to go and take certifications. I have friends that have concealed handgun permits that went to the class, did their time in the class, and did everything by the book. Now, I'm not saying. In fact, you know what? I completely agree with that. I think that if you're going to that you can carry a concealed handgun, but you need background checks, you need, you know, training, and you need to know how to handle the weapon. You need to know what the law is. You need to know how the law works around it. But you're never going to take that gun away from me. That's just the way that is. Because this is America, and until America falls, the amendment is still in place, and my Second Amendment right is that I have the right to bear arms. And this is where conspiracy theories come from, because they start talking about taking away guns, and they start talking about all this stuff, and then the conspiracy theories jump on it. You know, it's like, well, why do you want to take away our guns? The Second Amendment right wasn't put in place to protect us from burglars and people trying to break into our homes. The Second Amendment right was put in place so that if our government became too corrupt, we would have a means and a way to protect ourselves from them. And now you start taking away our guns. What are you aiming towards? What's the end goal here? Now, I'm not saying I believe in all the conspiracy theories, but you got to start wondering. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just something people they play it off. In America, they got us. Like, the governments of the world have got us because no one's willing to question. Everyone just is like, oh, no, that's ridiculous. That's conspiracy theory. I will never think on my own. I let the government tell me everything that is truth. And that's dumb. That's as dumb as them trying to take away our guns. You need to smarten up and start thinking for yourself. Now, whether you believe in all this conspiracy crap or whatever, that's up to you. But the main thing I'm trying to say is don't just automatically just take the government's word for everything, because the government's lied before and the government will lie again. And more than likely the government's lying right now, because that's what government does. Now, some of it is necessary lies to protect national interests, but a lot of it is just to try and keep us placated as a people to where we are just happy and stupid. And they're also fattening us up, which is kind of... Because, I mean, other countries have fast food and things like that, and they're not all a bunch of fucking fat motherfuckers like us. I don't get it. I don't get what's happening, but it's kind of going in a direction that scares me a little bit. But that's all I wanted to say, and you know, feel free to post in the comments. You know, if you have something rational to say to me, or if you want to rationally try and debate what I said, then, you know, I'll respond to it. But if you're just going to be an idiot and, you know, be like, oh, you're stupid fucking doo-doo-doo, you're more than likely, I'm just going to ignore you. Maybe possibly even delete your comment. Because this is a serious topic, and, you know, I just don't have time to fucking play with trolls right now. And I just, you know, I want you guys to just, you know, be able to just think for yourselves is basically all I'm saying. Just don't let the government automatically tell you what's what and how things work. And, you know, think for yourself. Whether you want to believe that there's a conspiracy theory going on, or that there's, you know, that the government is responsible for Sandy Hook and all that stuff like I've been hearing, which is, you know, even to me sounds a little outrageous. You know, believe it. That's your right as an American. You know, believe what you want to. Don't always take what the government says and be like, okay, well, that's the way it needs to be. And don't always listen to Obama simply because you think that having a black president means that the country has moved forward, because it hasn't. The country's in the same place it's always been. Just everyone puts so much, I don't even know, so much importance on race. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino, Asian. If you're the president, there's other things that there's going to be. No, a black man's not going to come into office as the president of the United States and change everything. That's just not how it's going to work, because everyone that's in power has been in power a lot longer than him, and that's just the way that goes. You know what I mean? It doesn't. Not everything's going to instantly be better, and that's what people are thinking, is that everything's instantly better simply because Obama's in office. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What? I don't know. it infuriates me that people can be so blind to just like everything that's going on around them. But I'm going to do it. This video has probably gone on way longer than I'm into. And if I said anything, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. If I said anything to offend anybody, or if you think that I said something in a different way, or maybe my emotions got the best of me and I did say something fucked up, you know, leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'll try to explain as best I can. I'm not a mean person, and I really don't want to go down as that. I don't want people thinking that I am. So if you want to, you know, call me on anything I said, please do, and I'll try my best to explain what I meant by it. And we'll see you guys next time. And I swear to you guys, next time we will be building machinery for the cave tower. We will be having some macerators and all sorts of good junk, and we'll actually get started on the Technic side of this. I just got a little off topic. Just all this stuff, it gets to me. You know, I try not to pay attention to it, but it's just constantly just pounding you in the head right now, and it just became too much. I had to get it off my chest, and you guys know that I use this channel as much for gameplay as I do for ranting and raving. So I appreciate you guys. If anyone watched this, I appreciate you watching this, and we will see you guys next time. There's a pig ass. Bye, pig ass.